the truth. He's the life. You know what he said? He said, nobody comes to the Father except through him. Nobody. But my friends, the difference between all of you outside of Christ today who are trying to live as though you are God, and you're not, but you're trying to live as though you are God. You're trying to come up with your own standards of morality, of truth, of right and wrong, as though you were God.
You said earlier that you know my heart. What is my heart like?
Your heart is abundantly deceitful. It's desperately wicked, ma'am. According to Jeremiah 17:9, her heart is deceitful above all things. And it's desperately wicked. Now, what would motivate me to tell you that, ma'am? What would motivate me to tell you that?
Well, you think you're better than me.
No.
No. And you think that
Logical fallacy, ma'am, to even bring up race. What a sad thing. Ma'am, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. You know why we tell you that? Because, ma'am, because we care so much about you. We care more than anybody else because we're telling you the truth that apparently nobody else has told you. So we're coming today because we care about your soul so much. We're sharing the truth with you. It's a hard truth. But until you recognize that, until you submit to that reality, ma'am, guess what? You're going to die in your sin. And you're going to go to hell. And you're going to spend an eternity in hell. And you're going to remember this message that you've heard. That's why we've come to you. That's why, ma'am, that's what motivates us. That's what motivates us to talk about the truth of the gospel today, to talk about the truth of Christ today. Okay? Gay people go to hell? Is that the question? If they die in their sin, they go to hell. Is being gay a sin? Yes. Of course it is. How do you change it? You call upon the name of Christ, and He gives you a new mind, and He renews your mind. How does a drunkard quit drinking? He calls on the name of Christ.
I've tried. I found it. It's imaginary. It's just a book.
Ma'am, you must be born again. You haven't been born again. Based on what?
God came down here.
Baptism's not being born again. It's a supernatural act of God when He comes in and changes you from the person you used to be. He gives you new desires. He causes the God you used to hate, you'll love Him. And He causes the sin that you used to love, you will hate. Ma'am, do you hate your sin?
I don't.
Okay, so you haven't been born again. Because anybody who's been born again, anybody, yes ma'am?
No, it is. It's subject.
Not magically, supernaturally. I guess so. No. Supernaturally, man. What happens? What do you mean through God, ma'am? What you're saying is this, okay? If you're saying, John can attest to this, I can attest to this, okay? The sin that you once loved. Whenever God saves a human being, whenever somebody is born again, they no longer love that sin. They hate that sin. They wage war against that sin.
But I'm here preaching against you.
Hey, what do you mean by hate gay people?
you hate that sin.
Against all your evil, wicked, fucking bullshit.
Ma'am, you missed the whole thing. Yeah, God is angry with the wicked every day.
What about you, bro?
God is angry with the wicked every day. Somebody apart from Christ, the wrath of God abides on them. Yes, the wrath of God abides on all those outside of Christ today. We love gay people so much we come with the gospel and we share the gospel with them and we share with them, ma'am, being gay is a sin and it's a choice. Absolutely, yes. Being gay is both a sin and it's a choice. Just like any other sin, ma'am. And yet, what does Christ say? Christ says to repent. To repent, you know what that means, ma'am? To turn from that sin. To turn from your life, to turn from the vanity of your mind, the things that you're living for, because they're outside of Christ. To turn from that sin and come to Christ in faith. That's what that means, to come to Christ in faith. To repent towards God.